Yo, welcome back to PDElite Gaming. Consoles in 4K. Well, sometimes they gotta try and introduce something newish and make those sales. All I want to say is don't get your hopes up for the spectacular event of 4K gaming for this round of consoles, even with the more powerful iterations. There's always gotta be a catch in buying the latest console or a more powerful version of it. For these consoles, it was 1080p and 60 frames per second. This was wanted and expected by gamers more than the ones delivering you the games. A lot of those games struggle to reach 1080 or 60 frames per second, and even trying to accomplish both at the same time? Phew. I know some of the devs were happy when there was a time when players just wanted to see better graphics. 1080p 60 FPS is now a bit easier with the stronger versions of these consoles being made, but it isn't totally across all of the latest titles out now and those coming out sooner or later. That's because it's still difficult to achieve a balance on this type of hardware. So, what's with the 4K gaming all of a sudden? Well, I can tell you, don't get your hopes up for that. Even with Scorpio coming out in later 2017, it will be pretty powerful, but it won't be truly 4K powerful. On PC, there are games doing 4K 60 frames per second, but that's just a few games at the moment. As hardware is ever changing, there will be even more games running with that. There's a hope around this time of Scorpio's release later in 2017 that console parts will be powerful enough to pull that off. I'm sure there will be some games running in true 4K, but that amount will be tiny, and probably 30 frames per second with certain games that aren't too taxing on the hardware. Yeah, there's gonna be a trade-off. Now with 4K scaling, that will likely be done a bit more often, like in the past with 1080p scaling, but don't expect something massive. The good thing is, at least those consoles will be powerful enough to run games with a higher performance, and that's always nice. I'm sure the devs won't be looking forward to all these differences in the games now. Maybe the newer versions of these consoles will be what people expected them to be when they were released some years back. The biggest takeaway is that we can all enjoy some great gaming on these platforms going forward. With the market stuck on remasters left and right, even for games that don't really need them, this may be the juice needed to expand and create more fresh new experiences. Remasters aren't totally bad though. They're just a bunch of games we play to death without much in the way of enhanced graphics or performance with some of them. And speaking of remasters, Burnout 3 and Burnout Revenge for all platforms. Make it happen, EA. There aren't any games like this out today. The kind of racers that Midway used to make. Burnout 3, we can all agree. You can do a 2-pack together. Make sure online is working. You know what? Even if online doesn't work, still bring it. But we would prefer online though. And high res it for the PC with some mad frames per second. Alright, thank you all for watching our videos. Thank you all for your thumbs up and subscribing. Yes, Mrs. Freaky is busy right now. With uni, I think. Yeah, something like that. So she hasn't been around lately, but you know how life is. Hey, anyways, bring that Burnout Remaster. Make sure it's Burnout 3 and Burnout Revenge. Those are the two best Burnouts ever made. Burnout was best when it was single track made. You know, track by track. Not when it was open map, open world, whatever you want to call that. It worked better track based. And I like the unique tracks. And that's what I want to see come back to Burnout. Yeah, I think we all can agree with that. And holla.